Good evening. Welcome to South Asian Newsline. I'm Swati Kundra. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 17th of November. India-China agree to strengthen military ties. "13 people killed as train derails in Pakistan." And Hindu devotees across India celebrate Chhath puja. And now for all the details. India and China have decided to enhance bilateral military exchanges to ensure peace and tranquility along the border. General Fan Changlong, China's senior vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi on Tuesday. Earlier, the visiting Chinese general also held a high-level meeting with Indian Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar.
China's powerful Central Military Commission Vice Chairman General Fan Changlong is leading a 26-member Chinese delegation to New Delhi on a two-day official visit. He met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday in Indian capital New Delhi and also held a high-level meeting with Indian Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar. Maintaining peace and tranquility along the line of actual control, strengthening cooperation against terror were among various issues discussed during the high-level meeting between the two leaders. It is the highest-level Chinese defense delegation to visit India in recent years. The visit signifies the enhanced defense exchanges between India and China. During the meeting with Defense Minister, the two sides agreed to implement the consensus reached between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping to ensure peace and tranquility in the India-China border areas, a Defense Ministry statement stated. Both Parrikar and General Fan condemned the Paris terror attacks and agreed to strengthen cooperation at international levels to fight terrorism. Among other initiatives, Parrikar also offered to share India's expertise in combating terrorism through joint exercises. The two sides also welcomed the operationalization of additional border personnel meeting points. They also expressed satisfaction at the recently held bilateral military exercise hand in hand.
Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif arrived in Uzbekistan on a two-day official visit. Prime Minister Sharif is accompanied by a high-level delegation. The two sides will also discuss bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. A joint declaration and signing of some agreements are on the cards during the visit. Pakistan Army Chief General Raheel Sharif held talks with CIA Director John Brennan during his visit to the US. They also discussed regional security challenges and measures to confront them.
General Raheel Sharif and CIA Director John Brennan discussed the prevailing security challenges in South Asian region and called for measures to establish permanent stability in the region. According to Inter-Services Public Relations, Brennan acknowledged Pakistan's contribution in the anti-terrorism drive codenamed Operation Zarb-e-Azb during his two-hour-long meeting with Sharif. General Sharif also discussed the Afghan peace process with Brennan and hoped for a conducive environment for resumption of talks. General Sharif also urged top American officials to take steps for establishment of durable peace and stability in the region. The military leadership of the two countries is also likely to discuss training of personnel and joint military exercises during Sharif's 5-day stay in the country.
At least 13 people were killed and over 100 injured when 4 compartments of Jafar Express train derailed in Bolan district of Pakistan's Balochistan province. Rescue operations at the site of the accident have begun. Here's a report.
The train driver, assistant driver and 2 policemen are among those feared dead in the mishap. The incident occurred near Abegum area of Bolan district, which is around 46 miles from Quetta city. Initial reports by Pakistani authorities have stated that the accident took place due to failure of train brakes. However, the investigation is still underway. Personnel of the Frontier Corps and Pakistan Army have begun rescue and relief operations. Two Mi-17 helicopters of Pakistan Army have also been pressed for rescue operation. The injured have been shifted to local hospitals in Quetta. Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who is presently in Uzbekistan on a two-day state visit, has expressed deep grief and offered his condolence over the loss of innocent lives in the incident. This is not the first time the Rawalpindi-bound train has met with an accident. Earlier this month, 4 people were killed and 8 injured when the Jafar Express hit a homemade bomb planted on a railway track in Mastung district of Balochistan.
There is growing apprehension among the people of Gilgit-Baltistan over the much-publicized China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC. The project could render over 10,000 people of the region jobless if the existing dry port is relocated from Soth in Gilgit-Baltistan to Havelian in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, a report.
Over 10,000 people earn their livelihood from the Soth dry port, including businessmen, transporters, hoteliers and others. But all of them could lose their jobs if the dry port is relocated from Soth in Gilgit-Baltistan to Havelian in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa under the CPEC project. Locals are concerned over the Pakistan government not giving any assurance about establishing economic zones in the region to compensate them. The livelihood of thousands of families of Gilgit-Baltistan is linked with the Soth dry port, and it would be an economic disaster for them if existing activities are shifted to the newly proposed dry port at Havelian. We will not allow the project to materialize if our concerns are not addressed, said the former president of Gilgit-Baltistan Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Javed Hussain. As of now, trucks and containers loaded in China are offloaded at Soth for customs clearance. This generates economic activity for local traders, laborers, transporters and trade agents. If the port is shifted to Havelian, activity at the Soth port will be ceased. Locals claim that lack of industrial activity in Gilgit-Baltistan is already creating frustration among unemployed youth. The proposal has added to the woes of people.
Moving on to news from Afghanistan, Afghan troops regained control of Taliban's key-based district, Dasht-e-Archi. The district situated in the northeastern part of Kunduz province was an important Taliban base after they lost control of Kunduz city.
The military authority in Afghanistan's northern Kunduz province has stated that the security troops have achieved major gains in the Dasht-e-Archi district. At least 90 Taliban insurgents have been killed during a security operation. However, many insurgents have succeeded in fleeing the area despite efforts to prevent their escape. Afghanistan Chief Executive Officer Abdullah, during a Council of Ministers meeting, has said the security operation will continue till all insurgents in the area are eliminated. Dasht-e-Archi was the second most important area for the Taliban after they lost the Kunduz city. The insurgents had captured Kunduz city in September, taking government buildings under their control. It was the most serious invasion of a provincial capital in 14 years. Before being driven out of the capital, they had transferred most of their equipment, including those seized from the security forces, to their base in the Dasht-e-Archi district. However, despite Taliban losing their key base, it is still difficult for the security troops to continue their operation in the remote areas.
Hundreds of Afghan asylum seekers protested against new refugee laws in Germany, which might force them to return to their homeland. They claimed that there was a spike in violence by Taliban and Islamic State militants in the country.
An uncertain future lies ahead of Afghan asylum seekers in Germany who are protesting against new refugee laws. A demonstration was organized in Berlin by Afghan asylum seekers who fear they might be sent back to their war-ravaged country.
خوی باره فعلا در سایت های اینترنتی در خصوصا در فیسبوک همه میفهمن که نشر میشه که آقای اشرف غنی گفته باید که افغان ها پس دیپورت شوند بیاین به جواب آلمان ها ما میگه گفتن که باید افغان ها غیر از مدرک صحیح نداشته باشن دیپورت شوند. در شرایط فعلی که میبینید در آلمان همه افغان ها خوش هستن که دیپورت شوند. به نظر شخصی ما اگر جانشان در خطر از افغانستان خصوصا من شخصا خودم از قندوز هستم و با آلمان ها کار میکردیم اونجا شرکت ساختمانی داشتیم در میدان نوی قندوز حاضر هستیم که دیپورت شوم از این رنج برم از زندگی که در آلمان داریم.
Despite international aid worth billions of dollars to support Afghanistan, which is reeling under massive insurgency over the past 14 years, around 40,000 Afghans applied for asylum in the European Union in the first 6 months of this year, claimed EU statistics agency Eurostat. Dealing with refugee crisis also topped the agenda at the G20 leaders meet in Turkey early this week. There has been a surge in Taliban-led attacks in Afghanistan, the latest being the brief seizure of northern city of Kunduz in September by insurgents. According to United Nations figures, 1,592 civilians have been killed and 3,329 wounded in fighting since the start of the year.
The Supreme Court in Maldives has suspended lawyers of two more suspects in President Yamin's boat blast case. Lawyers Alisha and Ali Ibrahim have been temporarily prohibited from appearing at any Maldivian court because of a pending police investigation, according to a Supreme Court statement. Earlier, the Apex Court had also suspended two lawyers of former Vice President Ahmed Adib. The Maldivian government considers Adib to be the primary suspect in the blast, which the government insists was caused by a bomb despite contradictory forensic findings. Adib is in custody for 3 weeks now. Maldives had declared a state of emergency on November 4, citing security challenges, but lifted it 6 days later amid international criticism. Devotees across India offered prayers and performed traditional rituals as they congregated on banks of rivers and other water bodies to celebrate the sun god festival of Chhath. The Chhath, celebrated on the 6th and 7th day after Diwali, is significant for married women who observe fast and stand in waist-deep river waters and present religious offerings to the sun god. Chhath is one of the main festivals of the eastern Indian state of Bihar, but it is gaining popularity in neighboring states of Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, and even in metropolitan cities of India. Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India-China agree to strengthen military ties. "13 people killed as train derails in Pakistan." And Hindu devotees across India celebrate Chhath Puja. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will be back same time tomorrow. Good night.